Um, Sarah, will you be kind enough to let me know when Substack Live, the Substack hits? If you'll watch the Substack and the YouTube chats, please.
Okay.
That would be appreciative. Oh, gosh.
There we go. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Oh. All right. Well, let's just go right into it. So, my queer thing. Well, I'll do the introduction. So, when we do these sessions together, we don't come to these sessions as a bystander. I personally come to these sessions as a woman who has survived the thing that's supposed to kill people like me over and over, not once, not in a dramatic moment, but in a slowly, daily, in the accumulated weight of the world that keeps insisting that I'm not real. I'm 53. I'm trans. And here on a Monday in February, I'm reading with my fellow queer and progressive persons. And we're talking about people who came before I did, before Brandon did, before Sarah did, before Onyx did. And their own struggles amidst surviving day-to-day life. Those questions aren't gentle. They're hard. They're meant to be that way. They're meant to land on top of you in a way that feels heavy. So the answer, even when your mind wants to negotiate away from whatever the fuck that answer is. And you've earned the right to be asked hard things. I know I have. But you've also earned the right to answer them as truthfully and honestly as you want. So here's my queer bitch for the day, is that on Friday, I had to call my landlord, who is a corporation, because I rent a house from a corporation. And they put me on hold for like 20 minutes before I got somebody on the phone. And so the hold music was Luke Combs, who is a country music musician, singing a cover of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. And that song was never meant to be sung by a country musician, because listening to a country Nashville star sing that song made it seem like he was trying to make that song straight. And if you've ever heard that song, that song sounds really gay. Is there anybody who is unfamiliar with Tracy Chapman's song Fast Car? It's like her most famous song.
Is Luke Combs the same guy who won the Grammy for it, or the
I think
they
so.
performed it together? Well, what I think about that is at least he didn't change pronouns. And I think that's the bigger thing.
He didn't, and so that was okay. But it just, I listened to it. Like I said, he got permission from Tracy Chapman to do it. It didn't sit well with me, because anybody who's my age knows back in the 80s, like Tracy Chapman, Katie Lang, and the Indigo Girls was on every lesbian's playlist.
And Melissa Etheridge.
Oh, you're right. And Melissa Etheridge. Yeah. Melissa Etheridge by far. That it just felt wildly inappropriate. Well, here was kind of the thing. I bitched at Charlie, my kid Charlie, about it. And Charlie was like, I didn't realize that song was about a gay couple. And I went, are you kidding me? Have you listened to that song? Okay. I feel like, and so then my child went grabbed the song, looked at the lyrics, and was like, nope, I'm not seeing anything in here that specifically says lesbian women. And I'm like, no, that's implied. Because Tracy Chapman, not back in the day, she was not out as a lesbian
I don't
woman,
think she's actually out yet. Like, I don't think she's actually talked about her sexuality.
No. She came out, yeah.
Oh, she did? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's one of those things that's like, okay, we know she's gay and we know she's a lesbian. It's just like, or we know she's queer. It's just like what stripe and news.
Well, so here's the thing. She has not so much as indicated, but Alice Walker has said they've been in a relationship together. And Tracy Chapman said, yes, we have.
Right.
So I mean, yeah. But I don't give a shit. Tracy Chapman's entire catalog is clearly sapphic music. And
yes, it is.
As iterative of the number of sapphic women that I know that are all huge Tracy Chapman. So yeah, that was like sort of my shtick. And so that was my I'm gonna bitch about this moment. And so with that, we'll go right into the discussion. And so the discussion is this. So the only weapon that we have is our bodies, and we need to tuck them into places so the wheels don't turn. Why do we do this? Bayard Rustin. Rustin didn't survive by waiting for permission. He organized from the margins of a movement that claimed to love justice while hiding his name. There are people who do not know who Bayard Rustin is. They should. I mean, historically, he was iconically a queer person in the time in which it was not fashionable to be a queer person. But today, birthright citizenship, climate accountability. By the way, the Netherlands inducted its first openly gay prime minister ever of all time. And these are all things that defy the far right. And the question isn't whether history is moving, it's whether your body is in the machinery or watching from the curb. Call your representative about the 14th Amendment case. Trump has already come out and said, by the way, he is certain that SCOTUS, and by the way, in his True Social posts, he's spelling SCOTUS with lowercase letters because they've upset him. He even said that in the post, I will be saying SCOTUS this way because I'm upset with them and they don't deserve my respect.
How petty.
He's such a child.
I know, he's such a fucking baby, but he is convinced that they're going to rule against him in the 14th Amendment birthright citizenship case, which, by the way, he has said if they do that, it will benefit China in some way.
Some way.
I'm sorry, apple, orange, they don't go together. So that's sort of his shtick. So the question is, where does your body go this week? And what are you afraid will happen if you go there? And so, for me, out in public, out in fucking public. When I go out in public, I have reached a point in my life where I don't give a shit what I'm wearing, but I know I'm going to get shit from people. And what I'm afraid of is the thing that I've been afraid of for 5 years, that I will open my mouth or I'll express myself in some way and it will cause somebody to approach me and do something bad. I mean, more than just, you're not a woman, you'll never be a woman, you're a man in a dress, something more than that. And so, that I'll ultimately, not that I'm unwilling to do so, but that I'll actually have to crack my knuckles and fight for something real and leave like I just made it worse just because I exist. But I do it anyway because I don't give a shit. I literally just don't give a shit. Rustin went anyway. If he was good enough to go anyway back in the 70s and 80s, why the fuck am I any different? I shouldn't be. I mean, that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't be an issue. And so, yeah. Brandon, where does your body go this week? And what are you afraid of will happen when it does?
Well, this week I hadn't planned on really going anywhere.
You're not gonna see him again?
Well, I don't know. We haven't talked about a specific date or anything yet.
Brandon, you're like my soap opera every Monday and Friday.
Well, it's not very exciting this time. Well, it is kind of like a soap opera because they drag things on the storyline. It's like,
oh gosh,
and
I can't imagine.
I feel like I'm.
No, I can't imagine either.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Here's the thing. Between you and Sarah, Brandon, your relationship dynamics are fascinating because there's no face to the other person, in my opinion, and so I'm just left to guess. And so you've menially described the person, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I have this picture in my head that the dude is like slightly taller than you, and maybe a little thicker with a dad bod, and maybe has the beard and the glasses, but looks really gay, but kind of nerdy at the same time.
Well, no beard, no glasses.
Oh gosh.
But,
okay, well.
So you can take those off, but the rest of it's yeah.
Oh really? So the no beard and glasses, but everything else is well. Anyway, well here's the thing. So why what if you go there this week? What would you be afraid would happen if you did? Like if you see him again, are you actually fearful of that engagement?
No, I don't think. I don't think so. I guess there's always a little bit of fear that somebody's gonna say something or whatever. I really don't think anybody would say anything around here. They're more like dirty look kind of people.
Dirty look people.
Silent disapproval.
Yes. The looking up and down disapprovingly or shaking their head and then leaning over and not so subtly whispering to the person next to them.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally. By the way, Brandon, I have to ask: do you have time in today's session for a reaction video?
Oh gosh,
because I got a good one.
It's been a little while.
I have a good one. We can do that instead of talking about food and shit.
I guess I'll have to be ready for it.
Okay. So Sarah, where are you going to go this week? And what are you afraid will happen when you do? Are you finally going to meet your person? I just want to know.
No.
Have you met the person yet?
No comment.
Oh.
What?
Very good. No comment. Just keep it chill. Keep everybody in.
Have you
suspense.
even met the person yet? This is what you've met the person, right?
I'm not going to say.
I thought you had talked about this already, that you had met them. I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
been
remembering
talked
right.
about and talked about and talked about.
Brandon, I literally have 20 readers who are all sending me DMs that beg me to reveal who it is, and I can't say because I don't know. So
What?
whenever Sarah decides to say whoever it is or whatever, then that's fine. But I'm literally just writing the shit blind.
We need Poirot on the case.
Yeah. Sarah, you're turning like 5 shades of red.
That's because my skin's dry. I showered earlier. This week I'm supposed to go out to my sister's and I'm supposed to meet with Anita. Meeting with Anita always gives me a little bit of anxiety because her violent husband is back in the picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good, I don't think.
I can't think of a scenario where it would be good.
Yeah.
Well, neither can I.
Especially considering the holes in the door that she sent me pictures of the holes in the door that he had punched.
That feels pretty. I don't know. That feels difficult. Is he just that out of control, angry all the time?
I don't know. I've never actually met him. He was hiding out in the back of the house the last 2 times that I dropped off stuff.
He was hiding out in the back of the house the last couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah, that sucks. All right, Alex. Where are you going this week?
Wendy, I think it's the same thing as you. It's just existing out in public and knowing I'm going to get feedback. Same thing with Brandon. Same thing with Sarah. Feedback. It's going to be the looks. It's going to be the comments. I haven't had any one-on-ones yet, but I'm always on guard when I'm out. In a way, in a sense, like, I can't let down my guard. Of course, on a personal front, it's if some shit goes down and I spiral, it takes a while to get out of it. And, from there, it can go down really quickly. So, yeah, I need to guard my mental health a lot better.
Right. Oh, I mean, I think that's the same for any of us.
Well,
for me, it's anxiety. I have crippling anxiety, and it will drive my blood pressure way up. And, I'm riding on the train and I break the BP cuff out, and I'm like, holy shit, looking at my phone. And I'm like, oh, this is fucked. I'll start to panic. Sarah has actually been on the phone with me when that's happened a handful of times. We were talking about business shit or whatever, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, nope, definitely not. I'm definitely not okay." So with that, I then say, hope will never be silent. That's a Harvey Milk, by the way. The reason for that is some days the news is a wall, and some days it's a door. And I really feel like today the news was a door. Rob Jetton was oathed into a European prime minister seat, and he's gay, and that's the first time that's ever happened. Kira Johnson came out and said that she's the chairwoman of the LGBTQIA collective. And she actually came out yesterday and said, we're actually winning the fight. And that, yeah, there are states that are, taking away trans protections, but there are more of those bills that are being defeated than the ones that are being passed. And then Paris is putting like the big 20 oil companies on the witness stand for all the climate change damage that they've done. Um, and it could be as big as that or just yourself. You don't have to be allowed to walk through the door. You just have to move. You pick one thing today that isn't just consuming. You're the one thing that makes something, and that's how you carry that hope. And so, that begs the question: what did you make today? And did you let yourself feel like it made a difference? And so, I wrote a newsletter today. And I wrote it at 10 a.m. with a really shitty McDonald's Diet Coke and a sausage McGriddle with cheese, which I should not have eaten.
No one should.
Right. And, my cat was jumping in my lap at random times. And I was tired in the specific way that you get tired when I get up and I read the news. I spend half an hour reading all of the shit that I'm going to cite in the digest. And sometimes it's really fucking depressing. Trump losing it and saying, I can destroy the country if I want to, and I will, was not a settling statement. Donald Trump calling Supreme Court justices disloyal to the country and they should be killed, or dealt with or whatever. That's really it's difficult to hear that. It's difficult to deal with the viscerality of how that makes you feel. But I white knuckled my way through writing the digest, and I sent it, and for about 14 minutes, I started to look at the news again, and I let myself feel like it made a difference. That someone I've never met will read Hemphill's name for the first time, not realizing who Essex Hemphill is. People don't. Essex Hemphill was a queer poet who existed in the time in which it was not popular to be queer nor poetic. And feel less alone by reading that. Feel less alone by, by being aware of that. Somebody recently told me, your daily digest has really hit its stride, and I like your queer stories or whatever. And I said, oh, you mean the ones I get constant DMs about because somebody won't tell me who the fuck the person is?
Wow.
And so, this person told me reading your writing is like putting on armor before I go out into the world. And I said, wow, I don't see it that way. It's just information. If you read it and it lifts you up, great, but it's really just words on a page. And so, this person told me they're the backbone of my day. I feel bad that you have to comb through all of the shit, but I love that you aggregate all of it. And, and I quit bothering reading the New York Times and and so forth. I read your digest, and then I go and look at this one other thing, and then that's it. That's all I need. And so I said, well, why? And the person told me, well, I think it's important that you constantly address that everything is connected, because it is. Some action in some field is better than no actions and no fields. And growing your own food, if you can't go outside and throw rocks at ice, for example, do positive shit and have a positive effect on other people. And I told them, I'm like, right, because giving people solutions on how to fix things is way better than just saying, this is how horrible it is. The rock that we are hurtling through space on is fucked up or whatever. And so, so that's what I did today. And did I feel like it mattered? Yeah. Somebody will make some random comment, or I'll get a DM and they'll say, hey, this was a positive thing. You did this. Thank you. You helped me get through the day. And so that's the thing that Sarah, can you handle my lightweight for me?
Took care of it already.
Hebe Shiomo dropped the N-bomb. In the YouTube chat, yeah.
Glad I can't see that.
Yeah, okay.
Hi.
So Onyx, yeah. What did you make today, and did you let yourself feel like it made a difference?
Well, so it wasn't actually today. I mean, I've done some writing today, and I think that that's going to make a difference. I haven't finished the piece, but the fact that last night I was on Mindhaven, and it was really affirming. There were three, Samantha Page, Jack, and me with Neuro D, who's in the chat, and Tig and Sushi, and you know, it was really affirming. Kimmy Wynn was in the comments, and they were continuously hyping me up in my writing, and that doesn't happen a lot. So you know, it made me feel good. It makes me feel like, yeah, my writing, while it's not changing the world, you know, can help somebody see my side of you, and that's really all I can ask for.
Well, I mean, if you do that, I think you're doing better than most any of us. But I mean, as writers, that's the thing that we do. You know, that's the way we play. That's what happens. So Brandon, what did you make today, and why did it matter?
Oh,
well, wait, you had an earlier live session, so
I did have a live session. That was one of the things I was going to mention.
Oh, please. Who did you do it with?
Who did I do it with? Will Fullwood.
Who?
Will Fullwood.
Will Fullwood.
I know.
I'm not going to judge this person's name, but I'm just going to say that.
You don't know him?
Mm-mm. No.
He talks a lot about race consciousness. He goes on live quite a bit, but he's been on with Walter Ryan several times, and he has a lot of guests on and stuff. But he's a black gay man in an interracial relationship, and talks a lot about race. And on his own show, I invited him on mine I wanted to hear his kind of one of the question he asked everybody when they come on his show is, what is your evolution of race consciousness? Kind of when were you first aware of race and differences and that kind of thing? And so I turned the question around. I took his question, kind of twisted it, and I asked him, what is your evolution of queer consciousness? And so he talked about his journey, and we're going to go on again sometime, probably next month, because there was a lot we didn't get to, but it was a great conversation. We had a lot of people in the chat who were talking back and forth, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good educational experience for the people listening, and hopefully the people who will listen after it's published. Those who didn't see it live.
Right. No, I mean that's credible. Looking at his content, I mean that's the contraband wagon.
Yeah.
That he's done.
The contraband wagon.
Yeah, I really like him. We were on a live together a couple weeks ago with Margaret Williams. She her guest wasn't able to make it, and she just pulled Will into the chat to talk to her, and then she pulled me on too, and we had a little conversation. But anyway, yeah. So that was cool. I also published an article this morning. I don't know if I can say that I made it today, but it went out today. But it was about a I don't know what to call it. I don't know if I would call him a troll or just somebody who responded negatively to a video I did a couple weeks ago. And I just, instead of, kind of like we were talking about the other day, whether you respond to the person or not, I wrote one response to him, and of course it didn't do any good. But instead of continuing back and forth with him, I just wrote an article about it.
Well, do you feel like it had a positive impact?
I don't know. We'll see. I've gotten a couple positive comments about it. Onyx Rose being one of them, and
great article.
Ginger Cook.
Well, Brandon, almost all of your content I find valid and certainly with significant value.
Well, I'm hoping one of the things I said in it is like I avoided tagging the person or mentioning his name because I said my goal isn't to try to get this person blocked by as many people as possible. In it, I said he only has 149 subscribers, bless his heart. But
well, no, wait. You just said that. Now you literally can say anything bad you want about him and get away with it.
Right. Bless his heart. Bless his little troll-looking heart. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, one of the things I said was the quote, "Living well is the best revenge," or something like that. You know,
it is.
It's like instead of going and attacking him or blocking him or whatever, just subscribe to me. And help me just show that you support people who are more positive and making hopefully a better difference in the world rather than someone who just tries to drag people down.
Well, I mean, that's what I would expect. I mean, that's, yeah, that's valid. 100%. Okay, Sarah. What did you make today?
What did I make today, aside from a mess? Well,
why did you make a mess?
Because I was packing to go to my sister's.
Oh, okay.
It's more of an indirect making of something.
Okay.
So my child is going to art school, and one of the things that they needed was reference photos for a portrait. So just before coming on here, I sat for about 20 minutes and got blinded by a spotlight while they took quite the variety of angles of pictures and lighting.
Were you revved up like a douche and a runner in the night? I'm just gonna ask.
What?
No.
What?
Revved up like a douche and a runner in the night, blinded by the light. I love that song, Manfred Mann's song "Blinded by the Light," but not a lot of people know this. That song is actually a Springsteen song that appeared on Springsteen's folk album "Asbury Park," and not a lot of people know this either. Probably there was a time in which Bruce Springsteen was a folk hero, like Bob Dylan, long before he was a rock star. The rock star image that he fulfilled in the '80s or whatever. So, anyway, I was making a joke. Sarah, please continue.
Well, that was pretty much it. They did show me the pictures afterwards, and some of them I like less than others. But
Did you have to pose?
No, it was mainly just relatively neutral emotion and actually having to look at the camera. But only with my eyes.
Only with your eyes.
Yeah.
Only with your eyes.
Only with your eyes.
So I feel like that's what I did today.
Well, that's yes, that's definitely something. So my Essex Hemphill quote for the day is, it's actually pretty sad, but it's not untrue whatsoever. And that's literally, I've been in sorrow's kitchen and I licked out all the pots. Hemphill didn't survive on abstraction. He survived on specificity. The specific texture of love, the specific face of danger, the specific warmth of a body that wasn't supposed to exist and did anyway. We had 3 specific true things happen today. A gay man was sworn into a powerful position in the Netherlands. The French court is demanding that oil giants answer for all the shit that they've done. And a queer organizer is telling the movement that we're actually winning, even though it doesn't seem like it. We carry these things, not as a comfort, as facts. The burning world can't take facts from you unless you let it. So don't let it. And so that begged the question, what's the one thing about my survival that you haven't said out loud yet? And the really sad part about this is I have to go and dig this up. Because, there's definitely something. I don't think I've ever said it out loud to other people, but I know that I put it out there and I just don't think anybody reads it anymore. I hope they don't read it. Here we go. Let me find it. No, it's not that one. So a lot of people that know me or know anything about me should know that I went through a lot of shit when I was younger. And so one of the things that I sort of hold on to, whether I should hold on to it or not, and Sarah, if you drop the link to the thing that nobody's supposed to read in the chat, I'm going to be mad at you, was really probably in college, my first true love. And her name was Karen. Her brother and I were friends. And we were screw ups. We did a lot of shit back then that we should never have gotten away with. You know, and so the thing that about my own growth was that one day she went quiet. And I was too wrapped up in my own internalized bullshit. You know, Wendy's voice was in the back of my head back then. I was 21, 22. And, you know, so I had Wendy's voice in the back of my head. I had all the shit going on around me. And I was viscerally punishing myself for things that I just didn't want to be held accountable for. And the only way to hold myself accountable without actually holding myself accountable was to put myself into positions where I would get hurt. And so I was a competition fighter when I was younger. And so I purposely picked matches that I knew I would lose against people that I knew would pound my face into the ground utterly, because I literally was just trying to silence all of the shit in my head. And I survived it, but the thing that made me survive it was the thing that I did not need to experience. And that was the day that Karen went quiet. She went quiet. I didn't see her for, 2 or 3 or 4 days, which was very uncharacteristic back then. And her brother called me and said, we need to go over, because her brother, who was older, he was in college over at Emory. And he said, we need to go over to Dad's house. I think there's a problem. And I said, okay. And so we got over there, and it was a very weird feeling. I walked into that house, because that's really the first time I'd walked into that house in months. And so we went down into the basement where her room was, and she was in it, and she was no longer here. And I carried that weight around for a long fucking time. Like a painfully long amount of time. And I still carry it around. But the thing that I realized was all of the damage that I was doing to myself back then to punish myself. I saw the end result of what that turns into. And so that's when I realized I have to stop doing this. Because if I don't stop doing this, this is where I'm going to end up. On the floor. Somewhere where I live. No longer breathing. And in a condition that no person should ever find another person in. And that realization is hard. Because when you're stuck in that space, you can't get out of it. There's a point where you have to say, no. That's what it took for me. And that was the thing that much later in my life, when I was back in that headspace, and I picked my bridge out, and I knew exactly when to go over to that bridge. I knew when to jump off of that bridge, and I knew how to jump off of that bridge and at what time, so that it would have the least impact on people at the time. And every time that I felt like I was getting close to that bridge, I would drive up there, and then I would remember Karen, and I would talk myself out of it, and I would drive away. That's the part of that I still carry. That's the part that hurts the most. But I mean, what does that say? There were years the middle years, the years before my transition solidified into something that I could stand on, where the only thing that kept me moving was going half insane. And what I realize now is I brought my body to a place where I couldn't bring it anywhere else. And that's survival. That's specific. It belongs to me. I don't say it because it sounds simple or soft or whatever. And I spent so long trying not to. In a world that reads that as weakness, especially in a trans woman specifically. But Hemphill said specificity, and so there it is. And so that's the thing that was the thing that I finally learned was, I survived because of this, and that was why. And if I hadn't, I have been long convinced that if Karen had not unalived herself, that I wouldn't be here. I'd have been dead 2 years later. The thing that drove it home, the thing that was even worse than that, or not that you can imagine something worse, but was the year after that. Her brother, my best friend Michael, drove his car into a ditch and killed himself. And that just solidified it because I lost the both of them. And it was hard. I mean, it was painfully hard. Now, people who've read the queer stories don't know this, but Renee and Bubba and Remy and my other friends at the time were there to pull me out of it. Hell, Bubba sent me to the ER one night because he beat the shit out of me. I was threatening to do something to myself, and he wasn't going to have it. And so he got Remy to hold me. Bubba pounded me in the face for a minute to snap me back into my senses. I'd have 3 stitches that night. But those 3 stitches were worth it because I knew what he was doing. It's one of the reasons why I write about him as much as I do. Because Bubba died in his mid-30s, not from doing something to himself, but because his heart couldn't take the fact that he weighed 400 pounds. And so that's one of the reasons why he appears in those stories, and I write about him as much as I do, because he was always the one that was there yanking me out of the damn swamp when I would go into it. Whew. So, I'm just going to randomly pick on somebody. So what's the one true thing about your survival that you haven't said out loud yet? That you have this person and you haven't met them yet? How did you even find that person? Whoever the fuck it is.
The universe moves in mysterious ways. I don't know. The one true thing that I haven't said out loud yet.
Surely there's a thing, though.
I'm sure there is, but I'm also sure there's reasons I haven't said it out loud yet.
Why not?
I may not have fully excavated whatever it is. There's still a lot of things I'm digging into that I don't have a clear picture of yet.
Can you give us an example?
Not really. Not without just giving too much away.
Sure, give a little bit away. Oh, wait. Do you feel that way about this person? Who?
What way do you mean? And also, that's not where I was going with this. But
Oh shit. Okay. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not making assumptions.
yeah, I don't really have anything that I can add for that. It is.
You know we're gonna keep bugging you about it, right?
I know.
All right, Brandon.
Oh dear. I don't know either. I can't.
Well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows you're gay. Okay, so it can't be that.
No, can't be that.
And we all know that
I've-
you're an ex-evangelical, so we know it can't be that.
I've talked about my, religious experiences and parents and depression. I mean, I still, the depression creeps in a little bit, even though I don't show it so much. Self-doubt creeps in, but I put on a happy gay face anyway.
Brandon, if you've ever been depressed, I've never been aware of it.
See, I'm pretty good at it then.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've ever been depressed, I'd never even seen what that looks like.
No, well, if I actually was in a depression, you wouldn't see me on here at all, probably.
That usually makes sense.
Do you have a tell for when you are mounting up a depressive moment?
You
Other
said when
than-
I'm mounting? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like you're ramping up towards that. Is there a sign?
She's not even going to dignify that with an acknowledgement.
I know.
The minute you say it, you know we're all going to be looking.
Right.
Well, I did talk about it a little bit not that long ago about like neglecting hygiene, that kind of thing, like not caring how I look,
Right.
sleeping a lot, not really motivated to do much. But a lot of those things you would never see anyway.
Right. Not things that we would be cognizant
Right.
or collectively aware.
Yeah.
But here's the more important thing. If you did feel that way, surely you realize that if you felt that way, you could reach out to any of us because we would support you not feeling that way.
I do, and don't call me Shirley.
Roger, what's the vector, Victor? Do we have clearance? Brandon, have you ever spent time in a Turkish prison? Do you like films about gladiators? Oh. Yeah. I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been there in one form or another. Onyx.
Fact that I made it out of the 90s and 2000s live is a minor miracle. I was an addict, so the amount of drugs that I was pumping through my system was amazing. In a bad way, not in a good way, but it was all because of my mental issues not being. I wasn't medicated, so I was swinging back and forth. My ADHD was unchecked, and anxiety, and I was having. So I was using drugs, try and keep that down, and then all of a sudden the gender dysphoria started popping in really hardcore, and I was just pushing it down. I had I had that happened when I was younger. Not in the 2000s, in the 90s and 2000s one, but it's kind of shaped the way I act now. I went to rehab in 2012, at pushing. She said, or that's it. So went to rehab, had a manic episode, and started on medication. And I've been on medication pretty much ever since. Still hasn't stopped any of the episodes. So I'm wondering why I'm taking the medication. But yeah, I fear, of course, that I can take it to a very dark place. Unaliving is not an afterthought, and I do have plans. But told my psychiatrist many times it's not something I plan on enacting, and I'm not going to harm to anybody else. Like Brandon said, when I am in a depression or something like that, you will not see me on camera or online. When I'm manic, yeah, you'll see me online more than I should be. But yeah, it's about trying to keep myself from dropping really low, and knowing that I can reach out to people before it gets that bad. So no.
Yeah, I can certainly respect that. Far and wide. Because like I said, we've all been there. So here's what it is. It's marrow. It's proof that I haven't looked away, that none of you have either. Not from the history, not from the present, not from the questions that press against the sternum at 2 a.m. when you wake up and you're scrolling. I'm a 53-year-old trans woman. And Sarah would tell you I built this audience and all the work that I've done from nothing. Who, by the way, was inspired by a POC gay woman on another publication. That's why I started writing. CD is her name. Cryptike on the Wonkette. She just told me, you have real good energy here. You need to keep doing this. and those are not relics. Those are working tools, tools that I pick up every single morning and use. At the beginning, at the introduction, I said, I asked everyone to be present. And the questions that I have asked are honest. The conclusion only really asks this question, and that's let today's facts, the things that happen today, sit as real things because they are. Not hope, not comfort, not joy, evidence, because that's what it is. I'm still here. And everything else builds from there, or at least, I hope it does. That's the thing that keeps me breathing another day, so that I don't go back into reading old thoughts and going through those processes again. Okay, who wants to have fun now? Okay,
Let's do it.
I'm going to send Brandon the link. Does anybody else want the link, or are we just going to watch Brandon's reaction to it?
Oh, I want the link.
Considering the last link, I don't know.
Considering the last link, you don't know. Okay, all right.
Send it in private chat.
Do you want me to send you the link to Signal? Do you want me to send you the link to Discord, or do you want me to send you the link in here to the private chat in here?
Maybe send it on Signal, and then I can look at my device while I'm on here. I'll have to go.
I think that's an excellent choice.
Let me get my tablet.
Okay, so Brandon's going to get his tablet.
So that'll be fun.
Okay.
Oh.
I dropped that into the trauma chat with the instruction that only Onyx and Brandon need watch it. And that nobody else should watch it.
Oh, no, it's on X.
Because it will be emotionally scarring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Unicorn with a K.
Yep, unicorn with a K.
Oh, yeah, it's blurred. Content warning. Oh, no. Are we ready? Are you looking yet, Onyx?
I'm trying to get on there. It does say age restricted. It won't let me get on. Because I'm not on X.
No.
Yeah, I'm not either. Not that I've clicked on it, just.
Yeah. I can't see it.
Okay, so here we go. Are you hit play yet, Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are the characters?
Looks like there's a Spider-Man. He looks kind of gay. And Iron Man. Oh, well, they look very familiar with each other. Oh, there we go. Oh, well. Oh, well.
It just gets even
Iron
spicier. You're like,
yeah. Well, Spider-Man looks like he's enjoying this interaction with Iron Man.
Oh.
Iron Man has quite a how shall I put it?
Blunt implement.
An iron implement.
Has Spidey shot out his web fluid yet?
Not yet, but I think it's getting to that point.
Coming up.
It's coming up.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, Spidey. I think his Spidey's. Oh yeah, his Spidey senses are tingling now. I can.
Spidey senses are tingling.
Oh yeah. He's shot his web.
Is that what we're calling it now? Wow.
So I want to point out that this specific account is the guy works for the Gayeti.com company, Gayeti, and that's the company that made the video game The Chronicles of Lancelot 2.
That was the other link I was talking about.
Yeah, that was, and Brandon watched that, and we were all like, "Oh my god!" Well, it was me, Brandon, and Fusan who were watching. Fusan and I were watching Brandon's reaction to it, and the whole time, Fusan Aiden was like, "I have to know what's going on, Brandon. Can you be more descriptive?" And that was certainly memorable. Then I think, Brandon, I think the second time we did it, it was the Final Fantasy video that he did.
Well, one of them was actually when Sarah said Link. It was because one of them was
right. It was Zelda and Link,
right,
or Link and some other random male character. Yeah. You know, Sarah, I've got Kate on Signal. Should I send it to Kate?
Oh, jeez. She'd probably block you.
Yeah, that would probably be. Yeah, so there's the Brandon reaction video video for Brandon's reaction to.
Yeah, when I saw that unicorn thing come up, I was like, oh, I recognize this.
Well,
really quickly, I opened Substack today, and like I saw something that I guess was supposed to be erotica, but I'm telling y'all, it said something about like fruit, low hanging fruit, and it was just nothing but ass cracks and balls. It was like porn basically on Substack today. I was like, okay,
so people are actively posting porn on Substack now?
Yeah, it may be under the guise of art, but it's because it was called low hanging fruit, and it was basically guys just like backed up, and their balls hanging down. So low hanging fruit.
Yeah, there are quite a few creators with nudity on there.
I was I was honestly shocked. I did not expect to wake up Substack like that this morning. Just like, okay.
Well, here's the thing. Substack literally iterates itself as the free speech. They're free speech absolutionists. They literally believe that free speech is completely absolute, doesn't matter what it is. So I should point out, for instance, that, and there's probably not people that know this, but for instance, Curtis Yarvin, who is a wildly racist piece of shit and a complete Nazi, has a Substack with like, here. I'm gonna go look this up. Curtis Yarvin on Substack. Here we go. How many followers does he have? He has Yarvin 86,000 subscribers, and
Joy.
his latest article is called "On Red Pilling Claude AI." I couldn't generate any strong objections to using it, and Claude is racist as shit, and I think that's amazing. So Substack has some very disgusting people that grace its doors in places. And here's the thing about Yarvin. Yarvin is ranked number 4 in history. And consistently, and he's got an orange check mark. So he has hundreds of thousands of paid subs on Substack. But here's the thing about Yarvin. Yarvin uses the N-word almost repeatedly in much of his writing. And Substack won't do anything about it because free speech is free speech. Substack is basically run by libertarians. That free speech is absolute. It doesn't matter how disgusting it is. And so, I mean, like Substack has even tried to invite Richard B. Spencer, who is the white Aryan nations leader, to Substack. And they've offered to give him writing space. And it's like, well, okay. So the universe of Substack is a very diverse space, but that means that, yes, there are far right and far alt-right personalities on Substack that have hundreds of thousands of readers and publish content. And, Substack can be a very scary place in that capacity. If you don't filter out that nonsense, this was a big deal, was that because of their free speech absolutionist attitude, it happened to me a handful of times. I got reading suggestions from Nazi newsletters. It was suggested that I read Nazi literature on Substack because that literature, it does exist. That's one of the reasons why, and people have asked this, why did I move my content off of Substack, and why did I go into places like the Fediverse, Mastodon, and so forth? Because those spaces are much easier to control, where bots and AI ingestion integration and AI expression and everything else, Mastodon and the Fediverse spaces have all of that very much under control. And so talking to people on Mastodon, if you're talking to a bot account, one, in the Mastodon space, you sort of have to apply for that. You have to be approved for it, and you get identified as, this is an automated account. This is not a real person. That would never happen on Blue Sky. That would never happen on Facebook. That would never happen on X. That would never happen on those other spaces. As a matter of fact, and I don't know if people know this, but recently Facebook actually won a court case where they now have the right to take memoriam accounts, so accounts from people that are no longer living, and use AI to continue those accounts and continue those people from those accounts posting on those accounts.
Oh, that is bullshit.
Oh, that
so
is.
Yes. So, for instance, MLK could get his own Facebook account, and he could continue posting on it as a real person because that's what Facebook is going to do.
That is crazy.
Neurodivergent, I'm going to drop the link to our Mastodon server. If you want to join it, you're welcome to. Thistle and Moss, we have a Mastodon server. We have a Pixel Fed server. That's the Instagram-like clone. So here, so if you are considering going to Mastodon, you can register a Mastodon account there, and we will certainly. Sarah will be the one to enable your account because that's her job. But yeah, in the Fediverse space, yeah, it is highly unlikely that you're going to end up talking to an automated account. Let me put this into perspective. So I was reading an article about on the New Republic, and I was going to publish it in today's digest, but decided not to. Get this. So there are people who run 150 TikTok accounts. And all they do with those 150 TikTok accounts is generate AI slop. And then they boost all of that AI slop between all of those accounts. So all of those accounts, like all of the posts from the other accounts. And then other bot farms like all of those accounts. So the people who are running those accounts are making between $20 and $30 and $40 and $50,000 a month just generating AI slop and having other bot accounts interact with it. And they're making a killing. And so they feed into, TikTok's algorithm. They feed into their ecosystem. They boost all of their TikTok posts for $50, $60, $70 per post. And then they use all of their other botted accounts to boost that account, and then they take a killing. And so there's basically people that are proctoring social media accounts that generate AI content, and the number of views against the number of likes versus the number of interactions or whatever, and TikTok pays that money out. There's literally a guy that's making $500,000 a year, and literally all he's doing is generating AI slop that's spread between 100 TikTok accounts. And then he just sits and watch all day. So spaces like the Fediverse and spaces like the neurodivergent, send me a DM on Substack. I'll tell you how to federate into our space so that you can follow all of our users. It's real easy. So yeah, that's when that started happening, I'm like, no, I'm going back to decentralized social media. And I took on 40 subs last week because of it. 5 of which ended up registering paid accounts because those are real people that want real content, that want, and it's not somebody begging for money because they're in Gaza or Iran or whatever. I mean, Substack, it has no control margin over the bot account. Their bot accounts are still a huge problem. They can't ban them fast enough. And plus, Substack barely has a reporting structure. You can report for spammers and that's it. You can't report for bad behavior because they won't listen to it. So, I'm sorry. I'm not going to bitch about Substack anymore than that. It is a source of revenue for people, and I respect that. But just the bullshit that happens is kind of complicated. Anyway, does anybody have anything else?
Yeah, the normal, the normal. Be good. No transphobia. Right. No homophobia. No xenophobia. None of the phobias. No ableism. No sexism. No misogynistic behavior. No racism. No elderly abuse. Be pretty cool to everybody. Right. Well, Onyx, Brandon, Sarah, thank you.
hopefully on Friday we will have Miranda again. I sort of miss Miranda's perspective on things.
Friday.
Yes, Friday. Actually, possibly Thursday and Friday, because Thursday I have to go to the dentiste, which I don't know if you know, but in French, dentiste is synonymous with the word torture.
Sounds fun.
Right.
Depending on the.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah. I mean, it's torture if I don't go. So anyway, all right. Well, cool. Brandon, Sarah, Onyx, thank you. Thank you, everybody that's watching. Neurodivergent, please DM me on Substack. I will help you out. And then we'll see what happens on Thursday. But if not on Thursday, I'll see everybody back on Friday.
Definitely.
Bye-bye.
Bye.